You're still watching Ways. Now, National Raspberry Cake Day makes today as sweet as a summer day can be. Tender raspberries are among the best of the fruits that nature has to offer. Put them into a cake, then you can have your fruit cake and eat it as well. You have your fruit and you eat it as well. So raspberries are one of the summer sweets, fruity treats. And the harvest is going on right now in the climes where it's happening, you know, and where it can be found. So it's only appropriate for us to, you know, enjoy this day with a piece of raspberry cake. I love raspberries actually. Anytime I travel, so whenever I travel, I try to look out for the fruits that are not readily available here. Okay. You know, or they are very expensive. Even if they are available here, they are very expensive. You know, so I look forward to that. Well, it's quite interesting. So raspberry is an interesting. But would you try raspberry cake though?
I guess a lot of Nigerians you just eat it in the mind.
as we are projecting it on TV. Well, it's just a national day for you to, you know, enjoy. We try to bring some kind of days that people people are not aware that they exist.
I'm really not a cake person. Like
we know your cake is coconut cake.
Very
straight.
I like
very
cake.
Boring.
No, I like cake. I really do.
Well, I like the color that it brings to cake. It probably makes it more interesting.
Any cake that has fruit, you got me. Don't worry. I can eat anything as long as there are fresh fruits in it. I would eat it.
I can walk past it.
Okay, so who do we start with? We have a lot of stories today in the news. Let me start with you, Norma, because you are giving us some updates.
All right. Well, today, what I found interesting in the news is the fact that Lagos State recorded 4 COVID-19 related deaths between July the 14th and the 17th. The State Commissioner for Health, Professor Akin Abayomi, said this, right? And he made this disclosure through his Facebook account, letting us know that people have, the number of people who have died up till date, which comes to about 363. Well, the fact that he said that, however, did not give additional, he didn't give additional information. He just put it out there that
so these four people that died, are they dying as a result of the new variant? Was it mentioned in the story?
Well, it wasn't mentioned per se. He said, according to him, there are currently 1,045 active COVID cases in the communities being managed under home-based care. But 5,455 tests were conducted on the reported dates, out of which 205 new COVID infections were confirmed.
Wow.
So they didn't quite say what variant, whether it's the new variant or it's the old one, but they just said that 4 more people have died, and that is increasing the number of deaths that we've had.
We just have to pay attention, because I think a lot of people, until we are on high alert, we're not there yet. The way our mind is programmed there.
In Nigeria, everyone has.
Well, it's not only Nigeria.
It's
not only Nigeria. Funny enough, outside is even worse. Have you seen them when they open the summer beaches and the way they would swarm the place like bees?
Prisoners out of jail. So
it's actually everywhere. I think naturally
tired of the situation.
Yes, the human nature. Even I am tired. Actually,
everyone is.
The human nature is built to be free. So anything that seems like you're constraining us and all of that, we want to rebel.
But sometimes you know that the exposure also exposes.
I'm just putting
people.
myself in their position,
so
basically.
How would you feel if you knew that you were the cause of a family member's death? Just because you were not. And this is something I preach all the time: consideration. When I'm not putting the mask because it is convenient for me to use it. It's because of the people that are around me.
Exactly.
When I say, okay, my nanny can't come to work anymore just because I'm trying to protect her from having to use public transport to get to work and then go back and be exposed in the process. I'd rather call her on the phone and know that she's fine and she's at home, and then I can give her whatever I can from time to time to keep her, for her upkeep.
Yes.
Than having to expose her and then at the end of the day she passes on, God forbid, just
Especially if
because
he has
on
some-
account of me.
Especially
That would be
she-
more tragic for me. So if people can think in that regard, where you are more considerate of
Of the
other
next person, yeah.
because some people even know that they have it, and they go around in circles where they know that people are.
Osalobwa.
Especially if the person or the people around you have some sort of a pre-existing condition.
Exactly.
So you have to be very careful and mindful of their status or considerate
Absolutely, yeah.
of them.
That's the
Just
word,
due
consideration.
diligence. Just do what you
Exactly.
have to do.
Okay, so darling, where did you find for us? Isi?
Okay, it still comes back to mind shift and mindset of individuals.
Everything's a mind shift today.
Exactly, because there's a story about a young boy who actually killed his friend. And I don't know, there was no story based on why he did it, but he actually poisoned him. And
That's the alleged.
alleged,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
I actually brought him, called him and said, oh, come say hello to us. I think this happened in Ondo State or so. And when this happened, the individual actually, came by to see his friend, and in the process, ate food which was forced, which was forced down his throat. And after eating it, the friend now said, was, telling them that he was feeling some pains and all that. But his friend had actually invited him, told him no, that he wasn't taking him anywhere. So people actually in the hotel where this thing happened felt that, oh, this is, something sinister is going on in here. And they were able to break the door open and found the young man writhing in pains on the floor, and they rushed him to the hospital. Now, guess what? This is the alarming part. The boy could not bring 1,000 naira for the hospital to actually take care of him or attend to him. Now the hospital actually allowed this young boy, who was 26 years old, to die because of 1,000 naira. Mind shift of Nigerians needs to change. It's so important, because I am so happy we're talking about this. And the health situation, which the health, the health outfit, which refused to treat this boy or give him medical attention because of 1,000 naira, which could have been afforded by anyone around them, should be called to question.
As well. Okay, so my story, I actually have two stories. One is just a quick mention. The governor of Niger State says that we should, there's something about these people in politics when you're talking. It says it urges Nigerians to support the federal government in tackling insecurity. And when I read through the story, I was quite appalled, because she kept on saying the APC-led, the APC-led, the APC-led, administration and all of that. When do we get to that point where we stop using terminologies like this and turning everything to politics or a particular political party? Insecurity is insecurity. It does not have the color of PDP or APC, right? So even us too, as citizens, we should start to look out for these red flags.
Exactly.
Because you see, these are the punchlines that a lot of people used in 2015 when they were trying to bring in this government. Even I joined them to say, oh, please, we see that this man, we hear his story based on the history that I heard, and all of that. We've seen clearly that he has failed. So when you come out and you say, oh, the APC-led, I just wanted to point that out, because, I mean, if you want to say support the federal government in tackling, right, don't make it a party thing. When you read the body of the story, it kept on happening on the APC-led. We don't want to care, because tomorrow any party can come into power. It should be a continuum, because these are the language that a lot of people use in government that makes it difficult for different political parties to follow a blueprint towards nation growth, right? You keep on using, oh, it was not in my administration, it was the PDP, it was ABGA, it was this, so we should stop that language. I just wanted to tell that to the Niger State governor. All right, so the other interesting story that I cannot overlook. So PFN was called on to comment, and you people have refused to comment. You people might say, these are our fellow PFNers. PFN was called on to comment on the pastor's sacking. I mean, that happened in the week, because I think over the week, apparently I was not on social media, so I didn't even know what was happening. So 40 pastors were sacked at the Winners Chapel, and of course, I mean, one of the pastors, I think his letter went viral, because I haven't even even seen the letter. But
he actually announced it.
Yes. So the letter went, so he said that in the letter he was written that he didn't meet his target, and that was why he was let go and all of that. So but I was just going to say that this is a follow-up on the story, because everybody has been trying to get comments and all of. So the Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria has declined comment on sacking of the pastors in Winners Chapel. The man says, see, let me quote him. He says, no, Bishop Oke won't comment on this issue. Let's forget about it. So it's sacrosanct. You can't even come close to it. But when this story came to your mind, or when it broke, what happened? What came to your mind?
What came to my mind was, pastors are now marketers. They have to meet their target before they...
You must win souls for God now.
No, target is not the money. It was all about...
It was not about money. It was more on church growth. It was not about money. See, if you are called by God,
look, it's not about the church growth to me. I think it's basically about...
No.
Look, salvation
I am telling you what it is about. Listen.
Salvation is personal. I decide to go to this church because I believe that God is
so somebody needs to preach to you for you to go to the church now.
Who said that?
So it was not about money. It's not about offering.
Who said he did not preach to me?
Unfortunately, we're not even there to know exactly.
No, but from the information that I gathered, though, is church, it's about the growth. So you cannot be in a place. Listen, if God has called you, if we are here and we're not growing, somebody will sack us. It's simple.
No, but because it's in a church.
No, but that doesn't make it
That's
right.
why
They said they've not met
Do you know
their
that
target.
because you are in a church, Norma, that is why you must grow. Because how else will you show that God is a prosperous God or God is a successful God? God cannot put. Listen, God cannot put.
The case, Noah would have been sacked before he even entered.
How? I don't understand.
What's it called?
Should we make this a topic for ladies' night out?
It should be. Noah would have been sacked before then because Noah tried to woo them and tell the people around him at the time.
Those ones were destined to perish.
He tried. At least he tried, but they didn't listen to him. So the bottom line is that look, salvation is personal.
But at least he still had growth because people followed him.
It was his family.
So you cannot be.
It was his family.
It's like only your family members voting
I give
for
up.
you.
I give up.
No, but the thing is that really it's the church using their discretion. If they feel that there was some objective for sending you out.
No,
I'm just
quickly without time. Yes.
For sending you out and they feel that you're not meeting up.
But I want to say that I know the structure to which Winners Chapel they operate. Trust me, they are workaholics.
Yeah.
So listen, if they have taught you the principles for growth and they are not seeing results, they have every right to say, Uncle, give somebody else the mandate to carry it on.
I see it from that perspective because they're trying to put structure.
Absolutely, there's a structure to it. So if the structure does not suit you and you're failing and you're not meeting your targets, you'll be sacked.
Even though I'm not sure the means through which it's done.
We'll take a break now.
I know of a governor
This is not our topic. We'll see you when we come back.